Hi and hello to another day of my equestrian life. And today I'm riding Sebastian in my brand new round pen. So it's not really a round pen, but it's like the area where I use for running, where I sometimes put up a round pen. But it's really nice ground and it's really nice to run on. But today, while I was tacking Sebastian up, I came upon the unfortunate discovery that I do not have fly spray. And normally that's not much of a problem, but we're in the middle of fly season right now, so the flies are swarming all of us, and me included. And I've noticed with these younger horses is that they tend to want to buck when they have a fly sitting on top of their butt. Now, if I were to take my mare out, which she hates fly spray, and she will flip out if I put any on her, so I don't put any, and the flies don't bother her much anyways. If I do see a fly on her butt, she normally doesn't freak out. She just swishes her tail until I notice that she's swishing her tail. With Sebastian here, he bucks when there's flies on his butt. And he really gets his attention taken away from me when there's a fly touching him. That's also the reason why I took him straight into running and we didn't walk as much as I normally walk him. But here you can see me, I'm starting to canter him, and I'm doing a bit more canter work with him. And I'm really trying to get him to fully pay attention to me and not to like the one or two flies that might land on him while we're running. And his other problem that I'm also working on today is his, cantering. He doesn't automatically go into the canter when I ask. He doesn't automatically stop from the canter when I ask, and sometimes he breaks out of the canter without me asking. So I'm really working on that, and I'm also doing like some dressage patterns and picking up the canter at certain spots. I was also blasting music while doing this, so it got my blood pumping and having fun. But I also just came out from swimming, so I was also soaking wet. And I wasn't having the easiest time sticking onto him, so you'll probably see me sliding around here and there and almost falling and having to recatch myself. But I was really working on that cantering work because I hate having to push my horses to go into the canter. And he's a big guy, so it takes a lot of energy to get him to go from a trot to a canter, especially if he's not trotting very fast, which is the ultimate goal, to go from a slow trot to go to a slow canter. Right now I'm just trying to get him to go from any point of the trot, whether it's fast or slow, into the canter when I ask. So I'll make him go into a faster trot and then ask for the canter because I know that's easier, and just get him used to that automatically going to the canter. Now we're also working on our stopping. Here you can see me that I'm really, when he's on that right lead, he wants to take off to his friends. So there I corrected him because he hasn't been listening to my outside leg very much, which was starting to get on my nerves because I dislike that very much. And here I asked him go into the trot. Now I have gotten him to go from a walk to a canter, so I do know he is able to go from a very slow pace into the canter. So this really has to do with it being hotter outside and his attention being on the flies a lot, which shouldn't be, because the flies are not going to kill him, and I don't need him overreacting, and I need him paying attention to me while we're riding, especially if we ever get in a dangerous part of riding where I need him to listen to me even if there's a fly on top of him, like in group rides. So I've started just right now, I'm keeping him to the canter, and we've been doing circles right now. And here, about right here, I'm going to ask him to go from the trot, and I'm going to ask him to turn. And I'm started trying to switch it up now. I'm switching from circles to doing like more just like movements as I ask, getting him used to the leg pressure, to get him used to like go where I'm looking, to my weight shifting and all that, which is a great exercise. Here I'm asking him to yield to the side, which he did very nicely, very, very nicely. I was quite proud of that. And I'm asking him just to do a normal trot, and then eventually I'll ask for the canter. But sort of just moving the momentum, and I'll ask him to turn, and then as soon as we're done that turn, hit the canter as soon as I ask, which I did just then. And then I'll ask him to break back into the trot and switch to the other side and break back into the canter. So I'm sort of getting him used to that, picking up the canter as soon as I ask. And you see that not all the time he picks up the canter very nicely. Right there he took me into the woods because he picked up the left lead, not the right lead. So you're going to see me come back around and correct him and make him come back that way and canter that way. And he actually ended up taking me into the ditch again, but you'll see that soon enough. Here I asked for the canter. He went into a really nice, good energy, good strength, went as soon as I asked, and that was really very, very nice. And that's what I'm looking for. And then I brought him to bring him back into the middle, and then go around that area where he gets a little finicky. And I'm going to ask him to bring back into the canner. And then this time I'm going to try and keep him from going to the ditch. But as you can see, he took me into the ditch again. And I almost fell off, actually. That time, I brought him back again. This third time, I was going to be more stern. So every time I'm asking more and more and I'm being more and more stern with him. The first time could have been an accident. The second time's not an accident. If he tries it a third time, I'm going to really pull him over. So you can see I automatically brought him right back to that corner. And I asked him to pick up the canner on that corner. You know, showing him that he can't go into the corner. We got to go around the corner. And I don't know why he was so attracted to that ditch. But for the reason today, he just was. Break back into the canner, and this is the third time we're going to come around. I'm really going to push him forward, and right there, I got him to not go into the ditch, thankfully. And you can see that he was not very happy about it. And I asked him to stop, and then we turn around. So he didn't have to think about that side anymore now that we've corrected that side. And we'll pick up the canner on this side and continue on. And here, I'm going to do as a release, I'm going to take him down the road, and then I'm going to stop him, and I'm going to back him up as a release from the last circle not going into the ditch. So sort of encouraging him there that thank you for not taking me into the ditch again. I'm going to turn him back around, ask him to head right into the canner, really getting used to automatically cannering. Do a nice sharp turn, really bring him inside, which he struggles with because he's a bigger horse. Those turns are a bit harder for him. And then ask for a stop, another release, and back up. Very good, good boy. And here you can see that that fly is really bothering him. He's got a fly on his shoulder, and I'm asking him to keep backing up, to ignore the fly. So I back him up, he ignores the fly, I get off, give him his rein, he can go bother that fly, and all done. It was definitely a harder day because he was really focused on the flies, but he didn't do too bad. He bucked at one point in there, but I went off camera on that point, so...